Friends, 1463 days of war between Russia and Ukraine and 138 days of so called ceasefire between Hamas and Israel, which is, as far as the world is concerned, it is only applicable on Hamas and other resistant forces, but not on IDF, which continues bombing and destroying whatever is left in Gaza Strip. IDF is also bombing selectively in Lebanon against the so called Hezbollah fighters, but in reality, murdering civilians, children, and others. As far as so called agreement between American imperialism, aided by Zionist Israel, and Iran is concerned, overtly there seems to be progress. But what Trump had to talk and say in US Congress, he is not likely to give any leeway to Iran as far as Iranians' uranium program is concerned, or missile experimentation and development, etc., and Iran's control or aid to other resistant forces against Israel and to help Palestinians. Now let us see what is happening in Russian-Ukrainian war. In south, in Zaporozhye region, by and large, fight is on in Stepnohirsk, Primorsky, and Magdalinovka. Ukrainians were able to advance in southwest Pavlivka and north of Stepnov, while Russians advanced in Plavny. In east Zaporizhia, in Huliaipol regions, Russians made gains towards southeast of Huliaipol and Olenokostintanivka and Varvarakivka, and ability to re-enter Pryluki. Ukraine's counterattacks are still successful here and force the Russians to withdraw from Haichur-Yanchur river confluence. They have taken over Verbov again. Now we come to eastern Ukraine. The fight is severe in Grishna, which is southwest of Pokrovsk, and towards Konstantinivka direction. Russians advanced between Berestok and Ivanopilya, advancing towards Stepanovka. Further up towards Soledar directions, Russians consolidated in and around Minkivka, Privilya, and Nikiforivka, as well as Lypivka. Further up Sivers'k, Russians have been advancing south of Zakitne in Riznikivka towards Kriva Lyuka, and they all are meant to advance towards Slovyansk. Now in northeast Ukraine, Lyman direction, Russians made small gains towards north of Novomykhailivka, eastern part of Karpivka, Sviatohirsk, and east of Stavki, and in Liman's communal district. Kupyansk direction, Ukrainians counterattack in the western part of Kupyansk by and large, and Russians made gains southeast of Petropavlivka, which is in the eastern part of Oskil River. Russians maintained position in Podoli and re-entered in Kupyansk, Vuzlovi area. North of Kharkiv, that is Volchansk, Russians' offensive operations continue near Staritska, Sumi, Novka, Volchansk, Khutori, and have made gains 2 to 400 meters. The rate is approximately 200 to 250 meters per day on almost all the fronts. In Sumi, again, Russians made gains south of Oleksivka and southwest of Yunakivka. The progress is slow. As far as interdiction missions are concerned, Ukrainians launched over 200 plus UAVs on Belgorod, Saratov regions, Crimea, Tula, etc. Russians are hitting several parts of Ukraine, especially targeting energy sectors and military installations. Here it is interesting to note that Lieutenant General Budanov, who is head of the office of the President of Ukraine and have also served as Director of Military Intelligence and now part of the team from Ukraine to have negotiations, peace talks with Russia, said in a statement that both Russia and Ukraine should not attack each other's decision making center, of which he will be the part. He wants to ensure that he is not hit by the Russian fighters or bombs, etc. On the other hand, Ukraine has been trying everything to hit several decision making centers, even including part of a terrorist attack within Russia. What he hasn't further said was that let the soldiers die. They are meant to die, they are meant to sacrifice their lives to serve these elites so that these elites can live in peace and enjoy their lives and earn massive amount of money and comfort and real estates and etc. Lastly, Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico said that no emergency electricity will be supplied to Ukraine because the transit facilities to get Russian fuel from Ukraine has been stopped. Similar will be situation to Hungary. Do comment what do you think about nuclear armament being positioned in Ukraine by France and UK. Will that serve as a peace through force, what Trump says? Well, that's all for the day. Thank you, friends.